How often do you get in situations when instead of being there, you would like to be at home next to your fireplace and not in some dark alley in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere? I get in those situations all the time. And it's day 10 of me making videos every single day. And today in this video, I want to share with you one of my favorite movies. The movie that is my favorite, not because that this movie is somehow specially good, specially well crafted, or has strong cinematic, but one of my favorite movies because it has one of the best and one of the most wonderful ideas that I've adapted in my life. And the movie is Yes Man with Jim Carrey. If you haven't watched this movie is about the guy who says yes, who decides to say yes to completely everything that life throws at him. And you know, all my life, I've been doing the same. And after I watched this movie for the first time, it even made my decision to say yes to almost everything stronger. And the question is, you know, I ask this question myself all the time. Am I mature enough acting like that? Like, if you haven't watched this movie, I recommend you to watch this movie. But the whole idea of this movie and the whole plot and the whole story goes that at the end of the story, the character, which is played by Jim Carrey, he meets a lot of new, interesting people. He gets into a lot of new, interesting situations. And of course, not every experience is fun. But the idea of saying yes to everything leads him into being happy, into being fulfilled. And this is what I can say the same about me. About saying yes to almost everything. Of course, you know, I'm exaggerating a lot. And me, myself, I'm not saying yes to completely everything. But so many times I get into situations, you know, that you could say no. But instead of just sitting at home and doing nothing, you decide to say yes to many different situations, to many different offers. This brings me a lot of different experiences. And I still believe that, you know, life is worth as much as many experiences you have. Life is worth as much as many situations, different situations, interesting situations you had. Life is worth as much as many different and interesting people you have met in your life. And you know, this I can say for sure. In 2020, for me and my wife, it took only 5 minutes to make a decision to move to Norway. And it took 2 weeks to move to Norway. And this was yes situation. In 2020, my life changed because of COVID. My business, my activity completely changed its direction. The place had no impact. I mean, where you live, where you work from. So, you know, one day I came back home from gym and my wife was making dinner and I approached her and said, you know, I think we should go to Norway. And she said yes. So, being honest, it took even less than a minute. And we had zero doubts after that. So, you know, it's not only me that is the character of the movie Yes Man. It's also my wife. She's also always says yes. And sometimes I believe that among two of us should be at least one who is more mature. But at the end of the day, I can admit that there's no other possibility in having more fun, in having more interesting life. There's no other possibility in experiencing those situations that we face every single day than saying yes and just committing to your yes. That's the same with the challenge, you know. Once I decide that I do something, I commit myself and I stick to that. And you know, of course, if being really serious, those decisions bring a lot of challenges. I mean, not challenges like that, but everyday challenges. When you face those situations, the consequences of your decision, you know, it's not always that fun as you imagine. But you know, the commitment to your decision, the commitment to saying yes, the commitment in keeping the straight line after saying yes, that's the toughest part for me. And you know, like the movie Yes Man left really big impact for me because, you know, of course, it's a comedy and the movie made in a really fun way. And when you watch all those situations, they look fun. You know, the character is having fun, obviously, all the time, you know, and sometimes we need that inspiration. At least me, you know, I'm always talking only about my own perspective, only about how I see it. And for me, the character, which is played by phenomenal actor Jim Carrey, looks, you know, even at the moments when he's not enjoying, at the end of the day, his experiences are worth it. And of course, we have not to forget the actor Jim Carrey. That's the actor I believe everyone who thinks a little bit more about life is following, or at least seen some clips with him, some interviews, and his view on the world. And I believe that, you know, a lot of people don't understand that in order to be a good comedian, you have to be a good philosopher, and you have to be a tragical person. You have to have difficult experiences. And I believe that this character in this movie, that's just only my opinion, is strongly related also to an actor, Jim Carrey. And you know, we all have our idols. We all have people that we admire. And since I was a teenager, Jim Carrey was also one of my idols because of the way he played, of the way he made comedy. It was exceptional, even sometimes looked silly. But, you know, life is not a comedy, but the ability for each of us to look positive at the things that going around you, the ability of making decisions and trying to find the positive outcome of that has the price of gold. So I completed my task for my 10th video, for my 10th day, and it's a mid-journey for making 20 videos in 20 days. So guys, thanks again, everyone who's watching my videos. Thanks again for those who watched my previous videos. Thanks again to you who are watching this video. And don't forget, say more often yes. So, have a good day, have a good evening, and see you tomorrow.